Your payments are showing. But with Apple Cash, your payments are private by design. There are no public feeds. Send and receive money privately, in messages or with Tap to Cash. Switch to Apple Cash. Apple Cash services are provided by Green Dot Bank, member FDIC.
You know that one friend who somehow knows everything about money? Yeah, now imagine they live in your phone. Say hey to Experian, your big financial friend. It's the app that helps you check your FICO score, find ways to save, and basically feel like a financial genius. And guess what? It's totally free. So go on, download the Experian app. Trust me, having a BFF like this is a total game changer.
This is Optimal Work Daily. How to be the best public speaker on the planet by James Altucher of jamesaltucher.com. I was scared to death. I thought I was going to cry. Polls say people would rather be dead than speak in public. Seinfeld joked that a guy giving a eulogy would rather be in the coffin. I've given hundreds of talks, but last week I wanted to die before I went on stage. I was speaking to an audience of about 200 CEOs. I felt inadequate and that they would hate me. My wife said, just take a deep breath, do what you usually do. And I did. Here's the operating theory. You don't need 10,000 hours at anything to be the best. You just need to be pretty good at something, a couple of hundred hours, and then you need to know how to give a good talk in public, because so few people want to talk in public, so you'll stand out. I wrote a post a year ago called 10 Unusual Tips to be a Great Public Speaker. I still follow those tips, but since the first post, I've gotten a lot more talks to a varied set of audiences. I've spoken out about everything from spirituality to business to creativity to entrepreneurship to failure. And before each talk, I've always thought to myself, holy shit, how did I write that post about public speaking? I'm more nervous than ever. So I have a few more tips, and these tips are as important as the first 10. A. Watch comedians. I watch great stand-up comedy before every talk. It puts me in a looser mood and makes me laugh, which relaxes me. When possible, I will directly steal a joke from whatever comedian I'm watching. If they've tested out the joke, then it's probably a good one and will work for me as well. I even practice imitating their timing, the way they pause, the way they change voices and move around the stage, everything. Comedians are the best public speakers and are up against the most brutal audiences, so you must study comedians. B. No PowerPoint. I used to think I always needed a PowerPoint because as useful as my words are, a picture is worth 1,000 words, as they say. This is total BS. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then you are worth 100,000 pictures. I compared Daniel Tosh's stand-up with his TV show Tosh.0. In his stand-up, it's just him making jokes, no PowerPoint. In Tosh.0, the format is that he watches YouTube videos and makes fun of them. His stand-up is better than the show. Even though the show is great, it isn't as fun as just watching him do stand-up. PowerPoint will only distract you from the main attraction, you. C. Clothes. I only dress in clothes I feel most comfortable in, even if everyone else is wearing tuxedos. When I speak, I have a specific uniform. I wear a t-shirt I had custom made that has all 67,000 words of my book, Choose Yourself, printed on it. And I wear a white shirt over it and black pants, like a waiter. I'm at your service, and I've chosen myself. Bam. D. Pause. I had this unnatural fear that if I paused too much during a talk, people would get bored. But inserting pauses allows people to think about what you're saying. It allows you to breathe. It allows you to be funnier. It avoids the impression that you are rushing through the material. Take a drink of water. Walk from one side of the stage to the other, whatever you need to do. E. Q&A. I enjoy Q&A as much as the talk itself, so I arrange beforehand to do the maximum amount of Q&A. F. ABS. Always be storytelling. Never give advice in a talk. Nobody is smart enough to give advice. Just talk about your own experiences and what you did to help yourself. Mix in interesting facts. Straight-out advice will never help anyone. Buddha himself realized this about public speaking. He said, "Don't believe me on anything. Try this out for yourself." G. ABV. Always be vulnerable. Nobody wants to hear from invulnerable man. They want to hear where you are scared and vulnerable and feeling insecure, because we all do. Poor speakers create an artificial divide between themselves and the audience. They feel they need to do this in order to establish their own credibility. Let me tell you, there is no such thing as credibility. In 100 years, there will be no buildings named after any of us. Somebody has to be on stage, and some people have to be in the audience. That's the only difference. Don't put any thought as to why you are on the stage or how you need to be better than the people in the audience. You aren't better. You're simply the speaker. We all woke up lonely and confused this morning. What a miracle that we get to speak to each other. And even better, we feed the soul by listening to each other. Ultimately, the best speakers are the ones who have put 10,000 hours into listening. And you just listened to the post titled How to Be the Best Public Speaker on the Planet by James Altucher of jamesaltucher.com. What does it take to lead like a superhero? Find out on the Superhero Leadership Podcast, hosted by Marvel's former CEO and legendary turnaround expert, Peter Cuneo. Each week, Peter is joined by top performers from business, media, and beyond, leaders who have mastered the art of impact, resilience, and vision. Together, they explore Peter's 32 leadership essentials, revealing what it really takes to rise, inspire, and lead with purpose. Check out the episode with Michael Fabiano, president of ESG News, who offers candid insights on how leaders can run towards challenges and drive innovation in resistant cultures, embrace lifelong learning to stay ahead of disruption, and create environments where bold ideas thrive. If you want to level up your leadership, this is your blueprint. Search Superhero Leadership wherever you get podcasts.
When you hear Lululemon, you probably think of Align yoga pants, weightlessly soft, like you're wearing next to nothing. That's why you see them in class, at the grocery store, and in the park. But did you know about skirts with built-in liner shorts so you can still jump for the Frisbee? And tanks and bodysuits? With Align's iconic stretch, you won't want to take it off. And with endless style options, you don't have to. Shop in-store or online at lululemon.com.
And thank you to James, who is an entrepreneur, writer, investor, trader, and podcaster. And on his podcast, he's got interviews with a bunch of talented people like Nancy Cartwright, Sarah Blakely, Tony Robbins, Ariana Huffington, and many more. The podcast is called The James Altucher Show, and you can always find it in the top charts in the business category of Apple Podcasts for good reason. He's published 20 books and founded or co-founded over 20 companies. Come by jamesaltucher.com to learn and read more. He's always got a unique take on things. But that's going to do it for today. Hope you have a great one, and I'll be back here with you tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.